The church was nearly empty that Thursday afternoon. Dust particles danced in the golden shafts of light that poured through the stained glass windows. The air smelled of old wood and candle wax, and the only sound was the creak of the wooden pews as 6-year old Emma climbed onto one with quiet determination. She wore a faded pink dress, her shoes slightly scuffed, and her brown curls were tied back with a ribbon that had lost its color. She didn't come here with a Sunday school class or her mother. She had asked the kind janitor, Mr. Benson, if she could sit inside the church for just a little while. Kneeling on the front pew, she folded her small hands and closed her eyes tightly. "Hi, God, it's me, Emma," she began in a whisper. "Mommy doesn't know I came here, but I needed to talk to you." Her voice trembled, and she swallowed hard. "She works so hard. She never buys anything for herself. She gives me everything, but she cries when she thinks I'm asleep. Sometimes I hear her asking why she's not good enough, or why Daddy never came back." A tear rolled down her cheek. "I just want Mommy to smile again. I want her to have someone who holds her hand, like the other moms at school. Can you give her a dad, not just for me, but for her too, please God, just someone who'll love us both." She opened her eyes and took a shaky breath, unaware that someone had stopped just behind her. Michael, a man in his early 40s, stood frozen near the back. He had come in by chance, traveling through town on business, seeking solace in a church he hadn't entered since his wife died 4 years ago. He hadn't expected to find faith again, but that child's prayer cracked something deep within him. The next morning, at a small diner on Main Street, the bustle of clinking cups and sizzling bacon filled the air. Lily, Emma's mother, moved quickly between tables with practiced grace, balancing a tray in one hand and a notepad in the other. Her smile was kind, but her eyes showed fatigue, the kind of weariness that comes from years of doing everything alone. Michael walked in and sat at the corner booth. He recognized her instantly. She was exactly as the child's drawing had shown, brown hair tied up, soft eyes, a blue apron. And more than that, she looked like someone who gave everything and never asked for anything in return. "Coffee, sir?" she asked, barely noticing his expression. "Yes, please," he said softly, watching her closely. He noticed how she paused every time a mother and father entered together with kids. He noticed how she winced subtly when the manager barked at her for something trivial. She brought him coffee, but forgot the cream. He didn't mind. Instead, he watched as she paused to kneel beside an elderly woman, gently fixing her shawl, or gave a child an extra cookie on the house. Michael stayed longer than he meant to. There was something about her, a quiet dignity, the kind he had lost after his wife died in a car accident. He had all the money anyone could want, but no warmth, no laughter, no Emma. Later that day, as Emma and Lily exited the diner under a soft drizzle, Emma tugged her mom's hand excitedly. "Mommy, that's the man from the church yesterday," she said, pointing across the street to Michael, who was standing under a tree, holding a paper bag. Lily frowned, confused. "What do you mean?" "He was there when I prayed," Emma whispered. "He saw me." Michael approached slowly, holding out a folded paper. It was Emma's drawing, the one she had left behind on the pew. "I think this belongs to your daughter," he said, his voice kind. Lily blinked. "You were at the church," he nodded. "I didn't mean to intrude. I was just passing through town, and I heard something. It stopped me." Lily's expression tightened with embarrassment. "I'm sorry if she no," he interrupted gently. "Please don't apologize," what she said. "It reminded me of something I've been missing too." For a moment neither of them spoke. "I'm Michael," he said at last, "and I'd like to buy you both dinner sometime, if that's okay." Lily hesitated. She hadn't let anyone in since Emma's father left, but something in his eyes, something real made her nod. Okay. 3 weeks later, it was Emma's birthday, nothing extravagant, just cupcakes at the park, a few balloons, and kids from the neighborhood. Michael had asked for the date after Lily finally shared it. He showed up with a neatly wrapped gift and a sheepish smile. Emma ran to him, her arms outstretched. "Mr. Michael," she cried, "you came." He crouched and handed her the gift. "For the bravest girl I've ever met." She opened it carefully. It was a book, the girl who wished for more, about a child who dreamed big and made magic happen through kindness. Emma hugged it tightly. She leaned close and whispered, "Did God send you?" "I think he did. I asked him to." Michael's heart nearly stopped. The weight of her words hit him like thunder. He looked up at Lily, who stood just feet away, her eyes shimmering with emotion. Michael swallowed the lump in his throat. He had built companies, closed $1,000,000 deals, spoken at elite conferences, but never had anyone made him feel this seen, this needed, not since his wife. Not until now. Months passed, and Michael's visits became daily. He wasn't just Mr. Michael anymore. He helped with Emma's homework, fixed the leaky sink, and walked Lily home after late shifts. And then, one Sunday morning, they stood again in the same church where it had all begun. But this time Lily wore white. Michael stood beside her, holding her hand tightly, tears in his eyes. Emma, dressed in a flower girl's dress with a crown of baby's breath, stood between them, beaming. As the minister spoke, Emma clasped her hands again, not in desperation this time, but in joy. "Thank you, God," she whispered with a smile. "She has a daddy now, and I got one too." When the minister pronounced them husband and wife, the crowd clapped, but the loudest joy came from the pew where Emma sat, clapping with all her heart. Outside, bells rang. Inside, love bloomed. And from that day forward, their little family, born from a whispered prayer and a stranger's broken heart, found something stronger than fate. They found each other. In a world often filled with noise, stress, and broken dreams, it was the simple, heartfelt prayer of a little girl that echoed the loudest, and reached not only the heavens, but also the heart of a man who needed saving just as much as she did. Emma's innocent plea for a father wasn't born out of selfishness, but out of love for a mother who gave her everything without ever asking for anything in return. And Michael, a man lost in grief and loneliness, didn't expect to find a second chance at love in a quiet town or inside an old church. Yet he did, because sometimes the answers we seek don't come through grand miracles. They come through small moments of unexpected grace. This story reminds us that even in our darkest hours, hope can walk in quietly. That love can be rediscovered when we open our hearts. And that family isn't always defined by blood, it's formed by the people who show up, who choose to stay, and who dare to love again. From a whispered prayer to a wedding vow, this journey shows that when love is pure, faith is childlike, and hearts are open, miracles do happen. Sometimes when we least expect them and most need them.